Cream of the Crop with Cat Cream. Only on 107.9 CamGlen Radio. Meow.
You're listening to Cat Gibson with you all the way through until 1 o'clock, and coming up next we have got the interview that I did with Zoe Darrick about Brae Discovers Blantyre and the Bygone Con that is going to be held this Saturday at Hamilton Library between 10 and 4. So we're going to have a little track because I'm going to go and put this on first, and then we're going to have the interview. There you go, Dionne Warwick. What the world needs now is love. She's going to be in conversation at the Royal Concert Hall tomorrow night from 7:30, and she is going to be singing a couple of her greatest hits. But I'm not sure how many, but I'm sure that would be an absolute fabulous thing to go and listen to. Now, coming up, I have got the interview that I did with Zoe Darrick. She has written a children's book. It's called Brae Discovers Blantyre, and she's going to be part of the Bygone Con at Hamilton Library this Saturday between 10 and 4. So thank you so much, Zoe, for talking to me all about the History Con that's going to be taking place this weekend at Hamilton Library. Firstly, tell us a little bit about how you got interested in history and how it came about for yourself.
Well, ever since I was a wee girl, I've been kind of interested in local history because my grandfather brought me up learning lots of stories about his life, and he grew up during World War II, so I was very interested in that side of things from a young age. And then I sort of just got interested in local history because of social media. There's a lot of pages on social media nowadays that show you local history in terms of Blantyre, Cambuslang, Rutherglen, even Hamilton, that I got interested in, and I sparked a really neat idea to make a children's book to maybe get younger folks involved in actually their local history and things around them.
That sounds incredible, and particularly about getting kids interested, because, you know, I know from bitter experience of being a parent of 2 kids, dragging them round castles and trying to spark an interest in them can sometimes be a hard sell.
Yeah.
They're quite happy to run around with their plastic sword, but, you know, quite a different thing to get them to recount the story of the guy with the plastic sword, if you like.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I was interested in because children do like to learn from experience, and that's a lot of the reasons why they don't really like to learn history from books. So I decided to get a character that they can relate to that goes on a journey with them, because the kids do like to do the playing part, but it's the learning while they're playing that we need to really focus on because of that.
And how did you get involved with the Hamilton Bygone? How did that, were you invited to become that, or was there an advert that you responded to?
So I was actually lucky enough to be invited. It was one of the representatives for the library that reached out to me. The library have been really, really good with helping out with getting more people involved in local history. So I think when they saw Bygone Con, they thought Brae Discovers is something a wee bit different to get involved in Bygone Con because it brings a younger age to the forefront.
And tell us a little bit about then the book or the character that you've created, and tell us how that experiences history.
So Brae is a stray cat, and in the book, you and the cat go through history together. So Brae can time travel. Don't tell anyone, but Brae's got a secret that we can all time travel when we go out together, and you experience history with Brae through Brae's sort of perspective. So you wander through time with Brae, with the stray cat. And the reason I picked a stray cat was because they're very elusive as animals, and I think a lot of children can relate to cats because they see them in their daily lives in their families' homes.
Excellent, yeah. And what particular type? I can see the miner's wheel, so I take it it's to do with the mining then.
Yeah, so there's a few things. We do talk about the Blantyre's mining history. I think children can relate to that, especially because children were in the mines back in the day. It is something that the schools focus on as well because it is very prominent in Blantyre and the areas surrounding it. We do also experience sort of David Livingstone's story a little bit as well, but it focuses on a lot of local stuff too. So stuff that your maybe your auntie or your granny would be able to even tell you about, like stuff that they experienced themselves, because it was inspired by the fact that I was sitting on my granda's knee learning stories and I could imagine it up, but I didn't have anything physical to relate to. Now they've got something they can point to and say, Oh, Hasties Farm, that was a club that I used to go to, and that was another business logo there. I've put in a couple of little Easter eggs for them to talk about.
Excellent, superb. That sounds incredible. And the history Bygone Con, what are the other sort of things that they're hoping to do or hoping to achieve with this?
So Bygone Con is, from my perspective, of course, is a take on local history from different perspectives. There's lots of different businesses and lots of different volunteers there. There's a few maps that they've mentioned that we've got to borrow from the National Library. So it's to give people the chance that are actually interested in history and have wanted to see those, to get them locally. My perspective of it is that children can actually get involved in history through storytelling, that it's a way for them to be involved, but there's lots of businesses on there that are actually there to sell their own books about their areas. So it's a very diverse convention, even though it is quite specific to local history.
So what's the name of the book?
Oh, my book is Brae Discovers Blantyre. It's available online, but it's also available through Bygone Con and through me personally. But it is a children's book, and we have it as a Kindle option as well, so you don't actually have to buy the physical version. We do have a colouring book as well for those that don't really want to read about it but want to experience Blantyre through the artistic
Oh, that
form.
sounds incredible. Fabulous. Great. And that's this Saturday. Now, if people want to follow you in social media or anything like that, how would they do that? How would they get in touch with you through that?
So on Facebook, we are just Brae Discovers Blantyre. You can go on Facebook and find us. However, everywhere else, if you type in Brae Discovers, we're that handle on Instagram, TikTok. I think that's all we've got, actually. Instagram and TikTok, yeah. If you're not on social media, though, you can go on our website to have a wee look at what's going on. That's just braediscoversblantyre.co.uk.
Excellent, superb. That's great, fabulous. And you'd already picked me a track, which is Fleetwood Mac's Everywhere.